Day 2 of Board and Train with Leo and Lily. Alright, so Rebecca Hintzman here with Rough Academy Real Life Dog Training, and this is day 2 of Leo's Board and Train. So, Yvonne from the kennel told me that she expected him to be tired after our training session yesterday, and he wasn't. He was still jumping, barking, and high energy. And I wasn't totally surprised, because when you have a higher energy dog like this, it usually takes them a couple days in a row to actually get tired. The biggest thing to remember is when you're working with a dog, it's here and there. When we work with a dog, it is 3 days straight for an hour working on specific things. We're not just playing ball with them, we're not just having fun with them, we're actually working on basic manners with them. So it makes their brain really think a lot. As soon as I came today, he was excited to see me, he was excited to see Lily, he was excited to see Juliet. He started barking crazy. I told him enough. He stopped. He started whining because he was like, oh my gosh, just take me out, let's do stuff. He was still somewhat hyper and wanted to jump up a little bit, but one correction and he was good. We put the collar on again today. He went straight into his chill, relax mode. So we're going to be working on a little bit of one-on-one today, along with all of the basic behavior. Hey! So we're going to be working on sit, down, watch me, stay, leave it, things like that today, and then we're going to go into Lily's area. She's being worked behind me by Harry, another trainer with Rough Academy. So she's doing one-on-one with her, I'm doing one-on-one with him, and we will then obviously go in, have them work together again, and then end with play just like we did before. It is always very important that when you start training that you do training first and play after. What a lot of times people do to try to get a dog to calm down and not being so crazy is they'll play ball with it and they'll do play with it. But the problem is once the dog has had that reward, it doesn't really want to focus very well. Just kind of like if we had dessert before we ate dinner, all we would want is dessert, and then we would just go take a nap. Most people understand that basically the first 10 to 15 minutes of any session, whether it's coming into your house and the dog is excited, or the first 10 to 15 minutes of where a dog meets another dog, or just the excitement of going into a kennel like we did today and they're all uproar and crazy, after about 10-15 minutes they all calm down and relax a little bit because they got over their initial stimulation. Dogs make bad choices within that first 10 to 15 minutes of stimulation, so it's really important that you get them straight out into a walk, or you do some training with them first, get a lot of that worked out, and then either have them meet people or meet another dog. So one of the first things that we're going to be working on is the sit command. He obviously knows the sit command. Even when I've asked him to sit to put his collar on, he's gone into a sit. Sit? Yes. So I am also going to add a clicker in, so that way he understands what a click means for good behavior. Sit. Good boy. So click and a treat. The biggest thing to remember with a clicker is you need to pair it with a reward. So you do what's called load the clicker, which basically means when they hear this sound, they get a reward. And pretty soon, then whatever they do, if they hear that sound, it makes them want to do that again. The nice thing about this is that even though we have another dog running around, he is still focusing on me and paying attention to me, and he's actually offering the behavior as well because he knows that he gets a treat along with it. Eventually, it's going to be asking him to do that along with other commands, so he doesn't always receive a treat. Leave it. So this goes into the next command, which I think is very fitting right now, which is leave it, because now that he knows that I have treats and that positive things come along, now we need to work for those treats. So with the leave it, the biggest thing to remember is in order to do leave it, they have to leave one thing to get another. So I usually say put a treat in each hand. One hand is the leave it hand, one hand is the take it hand. Leo, bring down the leave it hand, leave it, leave it, leave it. Yes, take it. Now you can also do a clicker as well. if you feel very coordinated, leave it, leave it, leave it, leave it. Good. So I would leave it and then click and treat with the other hand. Leave it. Yes, take it. Good boy. That was so good. Leave it. Yes, take it. Leave it. Yes, take it. Good boy. Leave it. Yes. So obviously he's caught on quite a bit, showing that if he leaves this hand alone, he looks at me and then I gave him a treat for it. So that's really positive. You're going to want to do it in your hand, and you're also going to want to do it on the ground as well. And that would be the golden doodle howling in the back. Okay? So if you do it on the floor, you have to make sure you have a treat to reward. Leave it. Good. And take it. Right here. Right here. Leave it. Leave it. Leave it. Good. Take it. Okay? So in the hand, on the floor, 2 ways to do leave it. Your eventual goal with leave it is you drop something and go, oh, I dropped something, and you tell them leave it and they don't go for it. But I usually put the leash underneath my foot so that I have both hands free. Leave it, leave it, leave it, leave it. Yes, good, take it, good job. So that would be a leave it. The next thing that we'll do is we'll do the down. The down is basically having a treat in your hand and then luring into a down position. Now, when you do down, you have to have a bigger treat, a bigger reward, okay? It causes them to want to go into the down position easier than just a little kibble. If you have a little piece of kibble, to them it's not worth it. So you actually have to have a handful to ask them to down, click, and then give them the treat, okay? So it should really only be one command, one hand signal, and one reward. Down. Good. And what I'm doing is when I do the down, I'm doing a hand signal so that eventually I can just do the hand signal without the reward and he goes along with the hand signal. Just like sit, hey, sit, yes. So just like that, how I did a hand signal and then he responded with the hand signal. It'd be the same thing saying down. Yes, good boy. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and take him into the other area where Lily is. And I'm going to do all of these things with him in the area where he's got Lily, who is an even bigger distraction than Juliet. I switched over to a hands-free leash because it works a little bit better. And being in a distracting area, I am using something much better, which is basically chicken jerky. In order to compete with the distracting area that you're in, you need to make sure that you have the appropriate treats. A lot of times people will say, my dog is not paying attention to me, he's too distracted, I can't get him to pay attention. Part of that is, again, like we talked about yesterday, was the training tools that you use, and the other part is the jackpot reward that you're using in a variety and distracting area. You have to remember, dogs are excited and focused on squirrels and rabbits and things that move and smell amazing. So if all you have is kibble and you don't smell like a rabbit or squirrel, they're going to look at other things that are much more exciting than you are. The other thing that I'm going to be working on with him is something called Watch Me. Watch Me is really important for them to pay attention to you so that they will do what you're asking. If he's paying attention to Lily and I'm talking to his butt, nothing is going to happen. Leo, sit. Good. Watch me. Yes, good job. So basically all I'm doing is bringing the treat, letting him see the treat, bringing it up to my eyes. I can add a hand signal. Watch me. Yes. And then click and treat when his eyes make eye contact with mine. Initially he's watching the food. Eventually the food will be away and the hand signal will be just the hand signal. So the biggest things to remember when you're doing basics with a dog, don't use the commands over and over and over again. Make sure that you have a treat ready to go to reward. Make sure that you're only using the command once, following up with your hand signal, and then using the reward to end. And make sure that you have a clear goal and plan on how you're going to react and respond to your dog, depending on how distracted they are. In the house, you're going to have a rock star. Outside, you're going to have a 30% rock star, and the rest is going to be, I'm sorry, what? What's going on? I don't see anything. So make sure that if you're using basic kibble in the house, that you may want to go to a higher value treat outside, like chicken jerky or cheese or hot dog, something heightened. Like I said, eventually these treats go away and the behavior stays and your hand signals are enough or your verbal cues are enough. But initially, when you're first teaching them, they need to understand exactly what you're wanting to do. And in order to do that, you have to be very clear and precise with them.
Lily, do you have the bottle? Oh. Do you like the bottle? She's like, it's kind of nice.